Hi, this is Motoroids.com. My name is Karan and this is the Jeep Compass Petrol Automatic powered by a 1.4 litre, 160 bhp, 250 Newton meters of torque and a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. So what's different about this petrol variant? Well, looks wise it's almost the same as the diesel model, and the only difference here is the alloy wheel pattern is different. There's some chrome around here, around the outside rear view mirrors. Apart from that, this limited option trim level, that's the top spec trim that gets this dual tone treatment for the roof. And apart from that, everything that you see is similar to the very popular diesel spec Compass that is on sale right now. So prices for this petrol automatic variant start from 19 lakh going up to 19.7 lakh ex showroom, and for that price you get front wheel drive only. There's no four-wheel drive option on this vehicle. So to tell you more about the car, let's just hop in, because everything that you see outside is similar to the diesel car.
Wait, this guy is only going to talk about the two-wheel drive version of the car. But if you are into off-roading, you want to know what the four-wheel drive version of the car can do, there's a link above. We have taken this car to places that we did not know existed, and we had a lot of fun, as you'll see in the video. So we highly recommend that you click the link above and see what this car is capable of in its 4x4 version.
And when we say capable, this one really is capable. The diesel powered 4x4 though. So hop in now. So we've driven this car for almost 200-250 kilometers now, and powered by the 1.4 litre Multiair engine. It's been paired to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which is very smooth. The shifts are almost imperceptible inside the cabin. It's slightly on the slower side when it has to kick down though. We've driven the car in town, out on the highways, and but there has never been this feeling where it leaves you wanting for a little more power. There's adequate power on tap at all times. Low down, the engine picks up pace from about 2000 rpm, and the mid-range is very strong. It can rev right till about 6,500 rpm, and by that time it sounds slightly on the harsher side, but that's okay. Inside the cabin it's very quiet. Outside noise is pretty well contained, and this car continues to ride and handle like its diesel counterpart. It's pretty stable, the ride quality is brilliant. On the other side, talking about this gearbox, it will hold on to the highest gear until about 1500 rpm. Once the revs drop down below that point till about 1300 or so, it starts downshifting into lower gears, and that's in this drive mode. If you shift into a manual mode, that's the other option you have here. You can only upshift into a higher gear after about 1600 rpm or so. Before that, the display over here will tell you that something of that sort is not allowed. Well, as an enthusiast, if you buy the Jeep Compass Petrol, there's one thing you'll have to be careful about. If you shift into manual mode and forget to upshift for some reason, the transmission just wouldn't do it on its own, and that way it should be pretty easy to cause harm to it. So if you shift it into manual, please do not forget to upshift on your own. This gets two modes for its automatic transmission. One is a drive and one is a manual. With the traction control switched off, there's quite a lot of wrestle with the steering initially once you take off from standstill. What we're going to show you right now is a 0-100 run in drive mode, so let's begin the proceeding. Right away, we shift into D and let's just go. So we'll try the manual mode now for a 0-100 run. Before, if you try to dump the revs, it won't rev any more than 2,300 rpm or so. So if you just release the brake pedal now, this is how it takes off. And remember, you have to shift manually because the transmission wouldn't do that on its own. That's it. 100 is what it does in third gear quite easily. sounds a little sporty too. Apart from that, the engine is pretty smooth until say 3000 rpm, and then after that starts screaming till 6.5, and there's ample power on tap at all times. The gearbox on its own, it's not the quickest dual clutch gearboxes we've seen. It's slightly on the slower side when it has to kick down, but it's very smooth, and it adds to a lot of convenience, and that's what you're looking for when you buy a car with a drivetrain combination like this. We've driven the car for over 2 days now, so it has managed to return about 7.5 kilometers per liter, but that's also because we've driven it hard out on the highways and mostly within the city. In real world conditions, expect an economy figure of between 7 and 10 if you're on the lighter side with your foot. Apart from that, nothing to complain about. This is a smooth combination of the gearbox and the engine, and from what many believe, this isn't the same engine that you get on the 1.4 Petrol. This is a Multiair, and it's a different motor from one that you see on the 1.4 Petrol. Well, if you're an enthusiast and you wish to buy an SUV for some reason, this car is a lot of fun to drive. There's ample amounts of torque steer, which some might like, some might not. And if you switch the traction control off and take off from standstill, there's a lot of wrestle with the steering that you have to do. I like it, some might not. That's okay. Out on the open road, this car feels really quick once it picks up pace after about 3000 rpm. The engine sounds sporty, is what I can say at its best. But it feels quick after that point, and it's a lot of fun. If I have to drive a Jeep Compass on the road primarily, and I don't mind a petrol engine and an automatic transmission, I would pick this. But if I need an all-rounder, the diesel-powered Jeep Compass is what I would take. So why would you buy the petrol-powered Jeep Compass over the diesel model or the 4x4? Well, if you want convenience and a premium SUV along with a brand name, and if your driving would mostly be in the city, so this one's for you. However, if you'd like to take your car off the road and would like to venture out to places where there's no blacktop, then it's the 4x4 diesel powered Jeep Compass that you should be buying. If you found this video useful, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and do share this video with your friends. So we'll say goodbye to this good looking red car now. Until next time then, with another car. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.